Hello and welcome to Real Hi-Fi Help. Let's take a look at Krell. So, a pretty popular brand that is, very well established. I would say that Krell belongs in the low to start of the mid-class sound. And generally, I think it's a lot better, the brand, than the usual stuff like Musical Fidelity, Vincent, Cyrus. And yeah, it also kind of has to be considering the price difference. So is that positive? I don't know. Um, I think that once in a while you can be lucky and find a really good classic hidden Krell amp on the used market from like the golden era that not a lot of people recognize, which kind of breaks the traditional bad sound that they make. And if you're lucky to get that, then I think that, then I definitely do recommend Krell. But it's just so unlikely that, all in all, in general, I just can't really recommend Krell. But yeah, it's a good start to get into to hi-fi if you get one of those good models. And some people have had a bit of luck on their side, and they were able to find that gear. So good for them. I think just generally looking into the negative part of Krell is that they're just very inconsistent from model to model. Going back to the start of when they were new to kind of like the present time. So I feel that it can vary from being horrible to pretty good, but being mostly kind of in the okay middle area. So the problem I generally have with them is that they have a harsh, unnatural, biased type of sound, fitting the taste of a lot of people that just want, a power box that gives them a lot of power. And sometimes it gets over to the much warmer type of sound, but again, consistency, structural parts that are really good, layering and stuff like that, it just doesn't really do that at this level. I think it's just there's too much of a focus on giving a power jolt to the sound instead of working at the more important stuff like high class signature, detail layering, 3D stuff like that. And I feel that it's partly because of this traditional way of designing gear where you just have all these clips, all of this added cables that just aren't really good cables, weak circuitry, weak boards, weak plugs. In general, once in a while they do break the tradition and create a very good amplifier, but no, not feeling it. Definitely not feeling it with this brand. But you also have to take into consideration, I haven't heard the new stuff, but I don't feel that it looks very pretty and fits the price category for what they're demanding price wise. And you just don't know what you're getting when you're buying Krell, because most of the times it's like a different degree of bad stuff. And then once in a while they'll whip up some kind of a special edition amplifier, or they'll create a new amplifier that's ridiculously good in some aspects. I just feel that it's so difficult to get the good Krell gear because so many people are sitting on that gear and they just don't want to get rid of it. The used market of Krell equipment is just in these delusional high prices, a lot like with Aquaface and Macintosh, where people are kind of kidding themselves, thinking that it's still worth like a third of the price 30 or 40 years later. So it isn't that good. But they did make some few models that sounded pretty damn good, that did some few things that were really, ahead of its time. But just generally consistency wise, going from low to mid to top models, it just they can't repeat a continual success. They will sometimes hit a really good sound. It's a bit like with Yamaha, in general, I really don't recommend buying Yamaha, but as soon as you start getting into that like 1000 series, then things start getting interesting. And then when it's the 2000 series, then it's like, yep, now we're definitely getting something that's pretty good that we could harvest. But still, at that level, it's can't really get anywhere close to the top models of the market. You still have to get into like into the 5000 series of Yamaha before it really starts becoming really, really good, And I feel that is sadly the case with a lot of transistor gear, that you can't just settle with the normal models. You have to kind of at least start at the very start of the mid class. And with a lot of brands, like Krell, I would say that mid class models aren't good enough in general. You have to kind of go with the top models to really get something that's worth anything, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. If you have your own opinion, that's fine. Because I also heard from friends that the newer Krell, which I haven't heard, that it's supposed to have changed quite a bit, being a lot more consistent and into that really good sound that they used to make back in the olden days. So I feel that there is a lot of positive, what do you call it? There just is a lot of positive potential with Krell, and I was just not able to get into that zone. I heard it at times, but man, was it just difficult getting all aspects of the sound right. I feel that it's either or with Krell. Either you're getting this part or that part of the sound. You can't get it all. And that's my big beef with Krell. I think that for those prices that they're demanding, it should be at least as good as Aquaphase and Audio Research price-wise. So, and I feel that it's behind that. It's quite a bit behind Audio Research and Aquaphase. And, those are pretty good brands, but they also cost a lot, so you kind of expect that to happen looking at the prices. And so conclusion is that should you try Krell? Yeah, I think that you should definitely give it a try and go through a lot of different models, because you just don't know with Krell. Sometimes it can sound really horrible, other times it can sound pretty damn good. So very difficult to make a video about judging the entire brand, because it feels like almost like 10 different brands in one when you look at them from all the way back to some of the more recent Krell equipment. I just don't feel that there's a continued type of consistency in the sound like with Macintosh or a lot of other brands. I feel that they've kind of, I wouldn't say spread themselves thin, but it just doesn't feel like it's the same people doing the same kind of sound, going deeper into the same sound. It's a bit all over the place, a bit like with Musical Fidelity and Vincent and Cyrus. It's just like this could be any gear on the market. You can't hear that it's Krell, you can't hear it's Musical Fidelity, you can't hear that it's Vincent, you can't hear it's Cyrus, because it's just some random parts put together that they coincidentally call Krell or Musical Fidelity, Vincent or Cyrus. But that doesn't mean that Krell is in the same class of these brands. I still think that Krell, because they just make stuff that is a lot better than this gear in general. And they also should, price-wise. So, yeah. Interesting. I'm a bit torn reviewing Krell because they do stuff that sounds once in a while really good. So yeah, give it a try. See if you like it. Perhaps you don't. Mix it up with some other amps, preamps, power amps, whatever. It could be potentially good, but just know that it will most likely be a very hard journey getting all of the different aspects of the sound to be like fully satisfied. So if you're a guy like me who's very nitpicky and who wants all stuff to be good in all categories, and you want like an endless amount of space where you can improve your sound, I definitely don't recommend Krell or Musical Fidelity or Vincent or Cyrus, even though Krell is a lot better than these in general. But if you're kind of getting into hi-fi and you want a good start and you're able to find a good Krell model, fine, do that. It's you can't go very wrong with Krell to start with. It's a good powerhouse sound, good control, good power, good grip, usually. So yeah, those are my considerations, and if you could like and subscribe, that would help me a lot. This is me logging out. Bye.